Bichachi, as has been stated. I've been to Tanzania before, and Ruben was just reminding me of conversations we used to have. Was it Escape 1 or Escape 2? Escape 2, with Cindy, I think, discussing what digital media was going to be. So it is difficult, ni vigumu kweli, kuongea baada ya watu wengi ambao ni werevu kunishinda, wanaongea vizuri kunishinda. Kwa hivyo kabla sijajaibisha, tafadhali wapigie makofi wale ambao wameongea kabla yangu. Mimi ni mwanafunzi wa historia, si mtu wa kuongea tu juu ya communication. Na ningependa kuwauliza swali moja. Coca-Cola ilianza kutumika wakati wa December. Kwa nini? Do you know? Why did people start drinking Coca-Cola in December in the United States? If you guess the answer right without Googling, I've got 10,000 for you. Without Googling, Ruben, I see you. Put the phone down. Well, I tell you the story. I don't see a hand up. Elfu kumi inaenda. Aya, kuna mkono kule nyuma. Aha. Kule nyuma, kuna dada kule nyuma. Excellent.
Hello. Hi.
Sababu kuu ni kwamba Coca-Cola hawauzi soda, wanauza happiness. Kwa hiyo ilikuwa kwa kipindi hicho kwa ajili ya sherehe za sikukuu ambazo watu wanajumuika kwa pamoja majumbani.
Please clap for her and come bankrupt me slightly. Well, the story is this. So Coca-Cola some time back realized that they only sell during summer. Sini soda, unahitaji kusabu kuna joto. So they realized, nakumbuka ile dip ya Doreen, dip yake akisema kulikuwa na off season. So Coca-Cola ilikuwa na off season during winter. Kwa sababu wazungu wakiwa na baridi walikuwa wanaona kwamba Coca-Cola ni soda ya joto, si ya baridi. Kukiwa na joto nje, basi unafungua Coca-Cola, unainywa. So kwa hiyo Coca-Cola ikaamua kwamba itachukua sehemu ya December inaitwa Christmas. Nani anajua Christmas? Wakisema kwamba Christmas itakuwa nyekundu. Unajua Father Christmas ni mwekundu, si ndio? Alafu wakasema kwamba Christmas na Coca-Cola itakuwa the same thing. Mara ngapi umeona Coca-Cola wakiadvertise wakati wa Christmas? Kwa wingi, si ndio? What I would like to talk about, the power and the rise of native marketing. Tuanze kwa slides zangu tafadhali. Ya kwanza. So this is from AI, and I'm glad I'm not the one talking about AI, because the last time I talked about AI, I was at a UN conference and I was a guest speaker. It was the year 2001. Then they asked me the question, what do you think AI will never do? And I said, AI will never create like a human being. And I was so wrong. So I'm glad that is not my topic today. But AI defines native marketing also as native advertising, which is a type of advertising that matches the style and format of content where it appears. Okay? Where it appears. Now, nilipoandika hii, I sent it to someone to do the graphics for me. And they asked me, hivi tofauti ya native advertising na content advertising ni nini? Namaanisha kwamba wakati kampuni yako inafanya advertising ya kutengeneza content katika platform yao, what is the difference between that and native advertising, native marketing? Well, I want to give you a few examples. Let's go to the next slide. How many of you wameolewa, madada? Wangapi walipewa engagement ring? Nataka kuona mikono. How many were given a diamond ring? You were conned. Not by your husband, thank God, but by the person who sold you the diamond. First, diamonds are not rare. Do you know that? The price you bought your diamond, if you go sell it today, you'll get a quarter of its price. Because diamonds are not rare. Because a company called De Beers decided to create false scarcity, but that's not the story. The story is this, that they started printing articles in the newspapers from 1920 onwards, saying that a good engagement ring must be a diamond engagement ring. And it was not an advertisement, it was a story. It was in newspapers, it was on radio, and even when TV came, they told everyone that if you want to engage someone, you must buy a diamond ring and it must cost you 1 month's salary. And guess what? To this day, what do? Buy diamond rings to get engaged. Ngapi wanapenda Valentines? Sasa mmeacha kuinua mikono. Sitawaibisha tena, I promise. Kama ushaisherekea Valentine, inua mkono. Aya, another con. So there's a company called Cadbury's. Unajua Cadbury's? And walikuwa wanataka kuuza chocolate sana. So what they did is they made a box, a simple box. But you could keep that box and put your jewelry in it. And they say this is a box of love. And when you have your girlfriend, your wife, and it's Valentine's Day, you will give them a Cadbury's box. Have you noticed ukienda kwa airport, chocolate ziko kwenye box. Alafu anakuambia hapo assorted. Alafu anakuambia $20, right? To take a story that's already being told in society, is already believed by society, and inserting your brand, your marketing into that story. That's native marketing. And it is so efficient that you cannot... Helena ameondoka, sadly. But when you're able to insert your brand into the joke without interrupting the joke. I don't know if I'm making sense. Tuko pamoja? I need to release you guys to your cocktails. Now, let me give you examples. Modern examples. Because I've given you ancient examples. Let me give you modern examples so you can see them happening to you every time. So let's look at a company called Red Bull. Next slide, please. Now, do you know Red Bull does not manufacture Red Bull? They don't. The company Red Bull exists to market that liquid, concentrated coffee, to you. And how do they market? Ukiona safari rally, ukiona magari yanaendeshwa kwa kasi, mtu anaruka kutoka kwa ndege, all you see is Red Bull. To tell you Red Bull is active. Red Bull is what you need when you need to be at the cutting edge of sports, of motorsports, of all of those things. So you've never seen an advertisement that says, buy Red Bull, recommended retail price 300 shillings, laki tatu, whatever it is. You've never seen it. Why? Because Red Bull has decided to tell a story more than it sells a product. Okay? The other company that you know about is Aston Martin. You know Aston Martin because it's a car for James Bond. Right? Every James Bond, they put an Aston Martin. So if you want to be as cool, as slick, as refreshing as James Bond, Martin. Well, There's another one. It's simply what Kim Kardashian wears. She doesn't say where it is from, what it does, and then sales go through the roof. So there's an opportunity. And when I was thinking about this presentation, I thought about Pweza, the octopus. And I realized that for many of us who do marketing, and I remember Alemu is the one who said that you don't try to follow the trend, you try to create your own trend, and you need to listen to society. But the question is, are we like the octopus which is able to pass through the tiniest hole? And I realized that there's a conflict for us marketers between the content that people want to consume on social media and what we want to give them in terms of our content that we're. I was joking. And so, at the back of our minds, we know that our advertising is interrupting the scrolling, the social media that hopefully, in partnership with Clouds, we're going to roll out in the next few weeks and months. But if you go to the next slide, I'll give you a few hints of what they are. Do not worry, I will be out of your head. So, you need to do native marketing. You need to find a narrative. Now, I'll give you the principle of narrative creation. You need a hero, a villain. We're going to watch tonight. You need a story. Many times we sell products. We need to change that and begin to sell stories. Selling a story is so important because human beings do not understand facts. We don't. We think we do, but we don't. I'll give you proof that you don't understand facts. Can I? Okay. According to tradition, the earth in 7 days, correct? Sindio? It's not a trick question. 7 days, okay? Now, if it was created in 7 days, how come, so how do they count day one? You've never asked yourself that question because you were told a good story. The sun, by which we count 24 hours, was created on day 4. And it literally says to mark the days, the times, and the seasons. Which light do you count day and night with? The light of the sun or the light of illumination? No, either way, the point is the logic fails. Oh, I'll give you a better logic question. Cinderella lost her slipper at midnight, right? Everything else disappeared. The slipper on the other foot disappeared. The chariot became a pumpkin. The horse became rat. But the slipper with the prince did not disappear. And that makes sense. See, human beings love stories more than they love facts. To have a good story. And that's what many of us miss, right? And if you can't find a good story, do one better. Find a story that fits the product or a product that fits the story. And this is so critical when you're thinking about using influencers. Because if you track any celebrity, when they're trying to push a product that's not natural for them, you see the numbers go down. It's natural. So at the end of the day, it is, but I've learned in my time, and I happen to have worked in many campaigns across Africa. I've learned that nothing beats a good story. So when you find an influencer don't just find someone with followers and likes. Because if you don't make that connection, then what you're doing is you're interrupting a good story. Then make sure the content flows. Hapo awali we had a banner with our colors and our brand, and the yellow must be like this and the red must be like that, and you cannot put it under this or over that. No. The next phase of marketing, and it's happening more and more, has to be about integration of what you're doing. Think of James Bond and how in every movie since 1965, is it? There's all that scene where M is with Bond and he shows him the pen that can kill, the glasses that have X-ray vision, and then they go to the Aston Martin. Every single time. Where's your Aston Martin? When you hire influencers, you need to have something that you've cured and curated so well that when the influencer does it, they don't even need to say repetition makes things true. Repetition makes things. It's the only thing politicians know better than us. When you repeat something, it becomes true. Right? For example, Trump said, drain the swamp. And he said it so many times, no one knows where the swamp is, how much of it he drained, how much is left. But please, drain the... Yes. So repetition makes things true. So a lot of time, I've noticed that many people who do marketing and brands that do marketing are always looking for new ideas. It's 2024. What are we doing that's new? If it's not broken, don't fix it. Don't fix it. Repetition and consistency is golden. Just think of how... One more story. Can I tell you one more story? The shoes I'm wearing are Jordans, right? Nike, from 1991 thereabout to about 96, paid Michael Jordan's fine for wearing red and black shoes on the court. Because then NBA was supposed to be only to create a brand that is not only worth billions today, but now, why should you do native marketing? Next slide. The point of this conference is how do you create lasting value in your marketing, correct? Because someone joked and said about their ex-boss who was reducing their budgets for marketing. Who was that? I think it was you, madam. And the thing is, but I'll start from the last point, going back up. When you're able to create a brand whose narrative people have bought into, do you know the brand itself has value? Do you know Coca-Cola can billions of dollars? Right? All right. So question, what is the monetary value of your brand? If I was to tell you, sell me your name, just the name. Nike's logo, as per my last check, it could be more, is worth $3 billion. Just that swoosh. So the beauty about creating a story that lasts is then you get a brand that has value. Two, it allows both you and the creator freedom to create something that flows uninterrupted and is integrated kwa ile content ambayo inatengenezwa. Zimeingiana, ziko kwa ndani. Right? And then your users become invested in your brand. They care about it. They love it. They have feelings about it. You know, Jordans are interesting because people collect Jordans. They put them in their houses like they're pieces of art. You know, one day I was in a mall that was so expensive. I don't know what I was doing in there because I couldn't afford anything. But I saw a Nike shop and I thought, Nike shop, I have Nikes. I walked in. The cheapest pair of Jordans that were there were worth $30,000 US. Branding. All right? But the easiest one is that when you do native marketing, that scary skip button, because as marketers we fear skip, scroll past ad, right? If you get it right, next slide, I'm about to finish. If you get it right, it becomes self-propelling. I remember when I was a kid, I knew it was December because my mom would cook more chapatis than usual and we'd have Coca-Cola sodas, right? That's how powerful Coca-Cola was. Number two, it creates an emotional attachment, and this is what you want. Emotional attachment is better than a great product, by the way. Emotional attachment is important. It creates the greatest form of brand loyalty of any marketing technique. There is no marketing technique that gives you more brand loyalty. And then, to repeat myself, increases your brand value. Now, to finish, activate your funds. Don't just collect them like basketball, baseball cards. Now, I needed to bribe someone with 10,000. Where is she? Please. I'm done, by the way. I'm just doing a handing over ceremony.
Makofi tafadhali. Mr. Mark, please allow me to welcome questions. Hata maswali hata mawili.
Sawa.
From the audience. Nani ana swali kwa Mr. Mark? If anyone has a question, please. Mkono juu hivi. Wewe mrembo. Nimemuona.
Okay, I don't have a question. I just want to say I enjoyed your presentation.
Oh, thank you. You're so kind.
Hello, I really enjoyed your presentation. It's not a question, but it's more something that you highlighted that it touched something in me. When you said when people choose influencers, the influencer has to go along with their story, not create their own. And that is one mistake, I believe, if we look into each other, we are doing that in Tanzania. Thank you so much for highlighting that.
True.
Thank you.
And it's very critical it's a very critical point, because if you're going to use influencers, you must ask yourself, why do they influence? They influence because they are them. And if you take them out of it, you don't have a marketing campaign. You won't have it. You'll be forcing things down people's throats that will not work. So thanks again.
Thank you. One last comment.
Hello, Mark, and
Yes.
hello, everyone. I think I like your final narrative in terms of developing stories for our brands. And one of the interesting facts that we all have to believe and dwell with is the stories must be trustworthy, and they must be genuine and authentic to the values of your brand. You can't take a story that you don't relate with and then plug into your brand because you love that story yourself, while it does not resemble the brand itself. So make sure that the stories you create can be believable, can be owned by your brand, so that it can cement the positioning that you want to do. So
Exactly.
well done for the presentation.
You cannot make a story outside your brand. That will be a fool's errand. I agree fully.
Thank you.
Awesome. Now I can go home.
Yes. You can have
Wait, how many cocktails do I get to have?
as many as you want.
Okay. You'll carry me home, right?
Umemaliza kazi.
Ni asante.
Thank you. Naomba makofi tena.